What is going on, everybody? It is your boy Baddog back with another New York Giants video. Just a quick reminder, I'll be live tonight at 10:30 with my main man, Philly 500. You ain't going to want to miss that. Of course, having Philly 500 on the channel is always a blast, without a doubt. Obviously, we'll talk about the Eagles draft and their, free agency and whatever else. Philly 500, you never know what's going to happen when he's on the stream, so I hope you guys will tune in for that tonight. But in this video, this is an idea by one of my subscribers, Johnny T, actually DM'd me on Twitter and said, is it possible for you to do a video talking about what the Giants could have done instead of trading for Leonard Williams? Like, what scenarios would the Giants have had we not traded for Leonard Williams and tagged him this year? And I thought it was a really good idea because this was a really bad trade by Dave Gettleman. Obviously, we gave up the number 68 overall pick and we paid the guy $17 million. So there is definitely some scenarios that the New York Giants could have done had they not made this trade. And a couple of them obviously include some big-time pass rushers. Not paying Leonard Williams $17 million would have allowed us to go after a guy like Dante Fowler or a guy like Jadeveon Clowney. Now, Clowney is still out there, and perhaps the Giants could rescind this franchise tag and go after him. I don't see it happening, and I really don't want Jadeveon Clowney here. But definitely, this is something that the Giants could have afforded to do. You could have had Dante Fowler and the number 68 overall pick, and it obviously would have been a lot better than having Leonard Williams. I don't think there's any doubt about that. So, obviously, the Giants would have had a lot more cap space, and they could have done a lot of different things. Maybe they could have went after Jack Conklin on the offensive line. Maybe they could have addressed some other needs instead of having Leonard Williams there. There's no doubt about this. Leonard Williams did help, our defensive line. I'm not going to deny that he played pretty well for us. But again, $17 million and giving up a 68th overall pick, was it really worth it? Because a 68th overall pick is pretty much a late second-round pick. Now, I did go over a couple of guys. I did some simulated mock drafts just to see who was available at number 68. And there's three wide receivers there if we really wanted to go there. A lot of times these guys were on the board still. Michael Pittman Jr. could have been there. Chase Claypool and Laviska Shenault. These are all receivers that I know Giants fans really, really like. And they would have all been there at 68. So we could have had one of those three wide receivers and Dante Fowler or Jadeveon Clowney. We could have had both of these. Both of those players could have been the Giants instead of Leonard Williams, which again just speaks to the fact that this was a really bad trade. The more I look at this, the more this is looking worse and worse. I mean, let's be honest, Giants fans. None of us understood what Dave Gettleman was doing with this trade, and looking at this, because Johnny T brought this to my attention, it just looks worse and worse. Another thing the Giants could have done, and I'm not saying that they would have done this, but had they done this, I certainly wouldn't have been as upset as I will be if they actually went ahead in the draft and did this, and that's draft Derek Brown. Now, I don't foresee them doing this anyway, and even without Leonard Williams, I don't think they would have went Derek Brown, but they could have, and it would have made a lot more sense, and Derek Brown is not going to cost you $17 million. So it would have made a lot more sense to go and get your defensive tackle that way if that's what you chose to do. So you could have had Derek Brown, and you could have had some of those three wide receivers I said as well. You could have had Derek Brown, Dante Fowler, and one of those wide receivers that I mentioned at number 68. Also, if you decide to go offensive tackle, center, safety, Isaiah Simmons in the first two rounds, there's defensive tackles that would have been available in the third round at number 68 that are pretty good. Jason Strowbridge is one that would have been available. Nevin Gallimore from Oklahoma, a player that I really like watching him with the Sooners. I obviously don't like him the way I do Kenneth Murray, but Neville Gallimore is a very good defensive tackle we could have had in the third round. And same thing with Bradley Anae. All these guys were available. So again, you could have went Simmons or Wirfs or Wills or Becton or Thomas, and then you could have got a safety or a center in the second round and ended up with an Ace Strowbridge or Gallimore as a defensive tackle in the third round. A couple other guys that were there, a lot of times I did this, was Jeremy Chin, and I really like Jeremy Chin a lot. I think he's a great safety. I actually like him a lot better than Grant Delpit. So again, you could have had Jeremy Chin, you could have had Dante Fowler, and you could have had Derek Brown. There are so many different combinations that the New York Giants could have had by not trading for Leonard Williams. This is just looking worse and worse. So I don't understand the point of it. And again, shout out to Johnny T. But man, I mean, the more I thought about this, the more it ticked me off, because look at the players that we gave up, really, for Leonard Williams. And what for? Like, it's just the more and more we delve into this, the more deep I got into like looking at all these guys, man, that the Giants could have had. Matt Hennessy was also another guy. If we decided not to go center in the second round, Matt Hennessy continuously showed up at number 68. There's another guy that we could have had and addressed, a different need in the second round and got our center in the third round. Now, Biadasz is always projected to go 99 in these drafts. I don't know why. You can't really take the mock simulator for what it is. I mean, watching the Entertainer last night, I mean, they had Justin Herbert ended up in the second round a bunch of times. So we can't take this seriously. But really, this is all we can speculate on is by going, through a simulated mock draft. And like I said, I did a number of them just to see who is constantly there at 68. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. I can't see how anybody, after looking at this video or going through what I did, all the research to figure out what we could have done without Leonard Williams, could possibly think that that was a good trade. Again, shout out to Johnny T for giving me the idea. And of course, guys, let me know what you think in the comment section. As always, thank you so much for watching. Please like, please subscribe, and tune in tonight at 10:30 for me and my man, Philly 500. I may do a video a little later today on Landon Collins, because, I really just don't like Landon Collins, and the guy just can't shut his mouth. Anyway, until then, guys, it's the Bad Diggity Dizzle, and I am gone. Peace!